From MTN Sports, this is the Montana Spring Rodeo Show, sponsored by Westland Seed.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Montana Television Network and our special production of the University of Montana Spring Rodeo. I'm your host, Kyle Hansen, and over the next half hour, we'll highlight both what happened inside the arena and out at this year's University of Montana Spring Rodeo. It was a special event this year, and it was actually hosted here in Hamilton for the first time ever at the Hamilton Fairgrounds. And we'll take a look at some of the behind-the-scenes stories of the people here, as well as the athletes involved, and show you what they do to put this great event on, which makes it a highlight on the UM calendar. But first, this is an athletic competition. So let's go ahead and take a look at the highlights and see who the winners were down here in Hamilton at the UM Spring Rodeo. Friday night was a rainy and muddy opening round of the UM Spring Rodeo, but that didn't stop the athletes and animals from competing and starting things off with a bang, as the crowd was fired up to get the action started. First event is bareback riding, and Montana Western's Trevor Kay scores a 79 on his ride to take the top score of the first night. Second event is steer wrestling, and Montana State's Traver Johnson wasted no time as he flies off his horse and gets his steer to the ground in just 3.4 seconds to give him the fastest opening round. Goat tying was the third event to get going, and Charlie Resch of Western had the fastest go-round on night one as she completed her goat tying in 7.2 seconds. That ties her for second going into the final night. Next, it's team roping with some Wyoming flavor as Northwest College's Jason Carl and Gunnar Plenty go 5.7 seconds on their run, easily giving them the top marks heading into Saturday. Saddle bronc riding followed that, and Montana State Northern saw the top performer there as Garrett Cunningham scores a 73 on his ride, and that sets him up for the top spot heading into the short go. In breakaway roping, again it's Northern representing as Georgia Orahood goes 2.3 seconds on her ride to give her the top spot. Rain coming down hard toward the end of the Friday showcase, and next it's tie-down roping, and Montana State's Gavin Garrison goes 14.7 seconds, and that'll put him in fifth in a loaded field heading into Saturday. Let's go ahead and jump to night two, which was a beautiful evening in the Bitterroot Valley for the conclusion of the rodeo. Starting again with bareback riding, and it's Trevor Kay of Western with the lead, and he goes 67 on his second ride, and that'll be enough to give him the win and the top spot in the Big Sky region.
It felt good. She kind of hard to ride, kind of really going away from me, but it was good to get the win and glad to finish it out strong.
Steer wrestling follows, and after a blazing first round, Traver Johnson of MSU seals the deal with a second performance of 4.2 seconds as he takes the victory and the buckle on rival dirt for the Bobcat.
Felt good, was good on my first one, just knew how to come back and make a businessman run tonight and went good, turned out.
Next up, it's goat tying, and how about some representation from way out east at Miles Community College as Mary Gibson enters the final night in fifth place, but she completes her run in 6.9 seconds, and that'll be enough to give her the victory in Hamilton.
It means a lot. This is my second college buckle I won, first time in the goats. It's pretty cool to see my hard work's finally paying off.
Gunnar Plenty and Jason Carl entered night two with a big lead in the team roping, and they took care of business with a 7.6 second run to seal the win on Friday for Northwest College. Then in saddle bronc, another leader in Garrett Cunningham from Northern entered and outdid himself with a 75-point ride on Saturday, and that gives the cowboy from Havre the win in that event. Cassidy Bolich from Montana State entered the final night in fourth place, but with a pair of rides at 3.2 seconds, she takes home the win in the breakaway roping. Then it's the first winner for the hosting Grizzlies, as Ty Christensen from UM entered the short go of the tie-down roping in second place, but goes 11.1 seconds, with the fastest mark of the rodeo to seal the win for Montana. Barrel racing followed that, and check out UM's Lexi Mirror going 18.28 seconds to hold her position in the top spot and give her a victory, which makes it 2 at the rodeo for the Grizzlies.
Oh, it's like an indescribable feeling. I'm so excited. My horse did so well. I'm just so blessed just to be here. It was pretty challenging because the ground this morning was a little different than it was tonight. My horse just handled it great. So
no rider completed any attempt on the bull riding, and Montana State swept the team race at the rodeo, while MSU's Traver Johnson won the men's all-around title, while Chantel Brewer also picked up the women's all-around win for the Bobcats.
The first night of the University of Montana Rodeo was quite the splashing success. Rain was coming down all evening, however dedicated athletes and grounds crews didn't mind, since boots made easy work of the puddles. Muddy grounds made an interesting field, which kept fans in the packed grandstands on the edge of their seats to see if horses would slip and slide. And as it got darker, it got rainier and colder, but that didn't stop the party. In Hamilton, Emily Brown, MTN Sports.
Coming up, we'll introduce you to one of the athletes on the University of Montana Rodeo team, as well as take a look at the opening ceremonies coming up here on MTN. Stay with us.
The Montana Spring Rodeo Show continues after this. From MTN Sports, you're watching the Montana Spring Rodeo Show, sponsored by Westland Seed.
Welcome back to MTN and our special production of the UM Spring Rodeo. Now, one of the athletes who competes for the UM Rodeo team is Logan Shaw, a team roper who had a special story coming into the home rodeo down here in Hamilton. MTN's Slim Kimmel has more.
It might seem like Logan Shaw was born into rodeo. His dad, Ryan, was a pro steer wrestler in the 1990s and 2000s. But the younger Shaw still took some time to gravitate toward the sport.
I didn't actually want to start rodeo until I was a freshman in high school. I wanted to play sports and play football and that, but I decided that this would probably be a better out for me, so I just started roping when I was a freshman and just kind of kept going with it, and now I'm here.
Here is the University of Montana, where Shaw is a junior team roper. A Utah native, he started his college career at Weber State. Then, after 2 years at Casper College in Wyoming, Shaw eventually followed his buddy Ty Christensen to Missoula. At the UM Spring Rodeo in Hamilton, he wrapped up his first season with the Grizz.
It's pretty crazy. It's definitely different. I've never, like every other region, it was every weekend for a month and a half or 2 months. And it's 3 weekends and it's jam-packed. And I do like it. Like, you get to run a lot of steers every weekend, but you kind of get a little tired at the rodeos, but it is pretty nice though. You kind of get them in and get them out pretty quick.
But college rodeo isn't just about the performances. Shaw would run the chutes at practice in Lolo, and the team helped prep the arena at the Ravalli County Fairgrounds for their home rodeo. Once the rodeos start, Shaw, unlike some of the other cowboys on the college circuit, doesn't do any other events. He's heeled before, but is now exclusively a header, partnering with teammate Trevor Klein to rope steers.
I think heeling helps my heading just a little bit more. It just kind of makes me realize more stuff, like with handling steers and making it easier for your partner so your guy can catch them.
Shaw made strides in his first year at Montana, having a better spring season than fall. But the lessons learned here are still nothing compared to the ones learned at home.
Pretty hard ones, with my dad, but he's really helped me just keep pushing, and he's always in my corner, so that's the main thing. He's always trying to help me keep going and be better every day. And it's just, sometimes it's a little hard to see that when he's yelling at you, but at the end of the day, you kind of realize though that he's on your side and he's always wanting to see you do good. So
even with those lessons and support from home, Shaw, of course, wouldn't be anywhere without his horse.
His name's Simba. He's a 7-year-old gelding. I like him a lot. I bought him from a guy in Utah as a 4-year-old. And he was started pretty well, and then I kind of finished everything out on him, and I really enjoy roping on him the most, just because I've kind of done a lot of what I like with him, and I just kind of like him more because he's kind of more my horse and what I've created on him.
Slim Kimmel, MTN Sports.
Rain or shine, the rodeo in Montana goes on. And despite the conditions, that didn't stop the American flag from flying during the opening ceremony.
And it was University of Montana Western senior Shelby Porman who had the honor.
My boyfriend actually just got elected president of the region, and he told me, I need you to carry flags tonight. And so I showed up, and then I carried 3 sponsor flags, and then he handed me the American flag. He said, just walk out there and pretend like you know what you're doing. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Originally from just outside of Houston, Texas, Poorman grew up heavily involved in rodeo, and seeing hundreds of fans show up for one in the rain stood out to her.
I think it's awesome. Really appreciate everybody. Can't really do it without everybody that comes to support.
James Berryman is also from Texas, having grown up near Fort Worth, and now a freshman at the University of Montana, and having seen how Montanans run their rodeos, he's impressed with the Treasure State.
Montana rodeos, to me, they're a lot more people compared to Texas, because Texas, we have a lot of indoor, but when we're outside, there's not as many people, just purely because of the heat. We're all working, and it's just kind of late night thing. Come on, let's go see what we're doing. But Montana rodeos seems to bring a lot bigger of a crowd compared to the Texas rodeos.
Berryman also grew up surrounded by rodeo and was mutton busting from an early age before bull riding in high school, and seeing crowds gather for a rodeo in the rain meant a lot to him.
It means a lot to me personally, because I know in Texas, whenever it was raining, we'd always go to an indoor arena. But it means a lot since we're outside here, because everybody's showing up. Nobody cares about the weather. We're here all to watch the rodeo, and the cowboys out here do what they do.
Despite the rain and the mud on opening night, the rodeo went on from the opening ceremony to the final event for all fans in attendance to enjoy. In Hamilton, Carter Culver, MTN Sports.
Coming up, it's the event everyone's excited about, the Bullfighters, who we'll talk to next here on MTN.
From MTN Sports, you're watching the Montana Spring Rodeo Show, sponsored by Westland Seed.
Welcome back, everyone, to MTN and our special production from the Spring Rodeo. Well, bull riding is one of the most exciting sports around, but also one of the most dangerous athletic achievements one can accomplish. But how about the guys who have to get the bulls to chase them, to get them away from the riders once their event is complete? Well, MTN's Derek Joseph caught up with the guys who were doing just that here at the Spring Rodeo, who put their safety at risk to help the competitors.
It takes an insane amount of courage and mental fortitude to get into the ring with an angry bull, but that's what the bullfighters at the University of Montana Rodeo want to do and enjoy doing it.
They're the guys responsible for the safety of the bull riders. Their job is to jump in front of an angry bull that has just thrown off its rider and get both of them out of the ring safely. Kobe Ruff and his partner Caleb Barrett have been paired together for years in many different levels of rodeo. It's a dangerous job that requires a lot of trust.
For us bullfighters, the teamwork is huge because if you don't trust your partner on the other side, it makes this job super dangerous. And when you can trust your partner and know where they're going to be and also see them and you can read each other in every situation, makes this way easier.
The trust and teamwork come off easy when you have been involved in bullfighting as long as Caleb Barrett. However, even with Barrett's 20 years of experience, the work and dedication it takes to succeed in this profession are both critical and non-negotiable.
If you want to do this job, you have to be willing to risk everything, your whole life to do it. And if you're not at the level of commitment you should be, and you shouldn't be doing it because you're dealing with somebody else's life. And if you're not willing to overcome your own natural instinct to get out of a wreck and step in there for someone else, then you shouldn't be doing the job. You need to be committed for those guys who rely on you because they're always in a compromised spot when they get off a bull.
Barrett continued to explain the harsh reality of what can happen if a bullfighter hesitates.
People die riding bulls. It still happens. We still have fatalities even with the amount of protection we have equipment-wise. If you hesitate, that could be the ultimate mistake, really. I mean, it could be the ultimate injury. It could be, like you said, career-ending. You can't, it's just not an option.
After 20 years of bullfighting for Barrett, the decision of when to retire is looming over him daily. This means he is constantly evaluating himself through film and mental exercises to ensure he can still give his best effort.
So once I start to lose the edge of commitment, that's the time I need to leave. And right now I feel very strongly about my engagement in the arena, but once I start to lose that edge, that's it. And whether that's in the next 5 years, the next 2, I don't know.
When Barrett does finally hang up his hat, he will likely be remembered as an influential figure in the Montana rodeo community. Reporting in Hamilton, I'm Derek Joseph, MTN Sports.
Coming up, MTN's Luke Shelton catches up with some of the competitors from Montana Western who made the trek here to Hamilton. That's next on MTN.
From MTN Sports, you're watching the Montana Spring Rodeo Show, sponsored by Westland Seed.
Welcome back to the UM Spring Rodeo special here on the Montana Television Network. Well, Montana Western down in Dillon has one of the best college rodeo programs around, and MTN's Luke Shelton caught up with some of their competitors as they made the trek here to Hamilton to compete at the UM Spring Rodeo.
Well, it's no secret that these bucking chutes can be a dangerous place. But for two members of Montana Western's rodeo team, there's no place they'd rather be. And that fearlessness has been paying off.
I feel really good. That horse was really hard to ride. I don't think there's anything to describe it. It's kind of its own feeling. There's nothing really like it.
And chasing that feeling has seen the junior bareback rider Trevor Kay excel at his craft. With a combined score of 146 points, he locked up a second straight Big Sky regional title at the University of Montana Spring Rodeo and will head to the CNFR in Casper, Wyoming, ranked number 2 in the nation. Last season he was ranked number 1, but an untimely injury kept him from competing.
I'm really glad to be going back. This will be my third year qualifying, but last year I broke my jaw here actually at an open rodeo.
But eventually he was back in the saddle, and his performances this season helped the Bulldog men earn a consecutive second-place regional finish, meaning that once again their whole team is CNFR bound. He credits a lot of that success to the leadership of third-year Western Rodeo coach JT Robbins.
I think his team's got really good under JT because he really pushes everybody to be a team player.
It takes some serious courage to climb atop a bucking horse, and for Trevor Kay, it's all about remaining cool under pressure.
Just try to keep my mind blank. You let my body get nervous, but keep my mind clear so it doesn't have any distractions during the ride.
Then there's Trevor's teammate and friend, sophomore bull rider Gavin Knutson, a Polson native. And with his event taking place at the end of the night, he's got plenty of time to get in the right mindset.
With me, it starts back here. I try to keep myself calm, deep breaths, because if I get all pumped, then I can't operate. So I just got to stay calm and do my job.
And that business-like attitude has kept him atop the Big Sky region this rodeo season. And while the Bulls pitched a shutout in Hamilton, his hefty lead in the standings still enabled him to walk away with his second straight regional title and his second straight trip to college rodeo's biggest stage. Bull riding is often described as the most dangerous 8 seconds in sports. And how does Gavin describe the feeling of being atop a very large, very angry animal?
You're strapped to a crazy train, pretty much, I guess. But bull rider's side, it's really just 2 small moves and that's all you need to do. I feel like you can take on the world and win. It's a cool feeling.
In Hamilton, Luke Shelton, MTN Sports.
Coming up, MTN's Brandon Sullivan gives us a special and cinematic look at the UM Spring Rodeo. That's next here on MTN.
The Montana Spring Rodeo Show continues after this. From MTN Sports, you're watching the Montana Spring Rodeo Show, sponsored by Westland Seed.
Welcome back, everyone, to MTN and the UM Spring Rodeo Special. Well, this is one of the most special events of the year on the Grizzly calendar in Missoula. And while it happened down here in Hamilton, there were plenty of memorable performances that got underway. MTN's Brandon Sullivan gives us a special and close look at the action here from Hamilton. Well, that'll do it for night one of our Spring Rodeo special production here on the Montana Television Network. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope you enjoyed all of these stories from the athletes to fans and more as we highlight this great event. But that's not all, as we have more for you. If you join us tomorrow night right here on MTN, we have one more half-hour special that takes another deep dive into the Spring Rodeo with features, logistics, and more to show how this great event got underway. So we'll see you tomorrow night. But until then, I'm Kyle Hansen with the Montana Television Network. Have a great evening.
The Montana Spring Rodeo Show continues tomorrow on MTN. Watch part 2 tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Sponsored by Westland Seed.